Hey everybody, how we doing? All right, wakey, 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 wakey. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever the hell it is. Okay. So where's all the Leaf fans? Where is everybody? Let's get the comments up. Let's see who's here this morning. Dave, how you doing, bud? Only the true degenerates fan. How you doing, bud? Oh, Jameson says Leafs fans chanting, "We want Florida again in downtown Toronto after the games." Jeez. Sometimes lessons are hard to learn. Hey, Boulevard says the Kings have lost 4 years in a row to the Oilers. Poor senior graduates this year haven't been able to see the Kings beat the Oilers in a 7-game series. Oh, man. Hey, Steven, your coworker wants you to bet on the series. I mean, if somebody wants to place money against Florida at this point, it's like, okay. I mean, anything is possible, but talking about betting money against Florida right now, that's rough. David says a game 6 tonight game. Yeah, I thought we kind of got robbed of more game 7s. You know? I thought we kind of got robbed. I mean, 4 6s turned into 1 7. Yeah. IDK. Hey, Craig. David says Cats too deep for the Leafs. Some of the Sens fans were cheering for the Panthers while leaving the game last night. That's an interesting. Well, the brother angle of it, right? Right? Steven says, Ottawa boned my bracket. Who loses to the Leafs in the first round? Oh, well. Hey, Kenneth, how you doing, bud? Kenneth has resigned himself. It was a good year, time to lose to the Panthers. Hey, Icy, Hungry, how you guys doing? IDK says, all the teams I didn't want to win last night won. Can you believe the Kings? I mean, really? Can you really believe the Kings? Unbelievable. They get up 2-0 and they don't even get to game 7. That's hard to do. I mean, you could have won one of those last 4 just by accident, just to make it interesting. That's just embarrassing what the Kings did. Everybody else pretty much put up a decent fight. Minnesota close, Ottawa close, Tampa close-ish, but it was only 5. The game 6s I should be talking about. Real says the Sharks have won a playoff series more recently than the Kings. Yikes. Whoa. That's a stat. Hey, Johnny. Says, you know what's funny? Toronto has to deal with us twice for the second round. Steve is going to go maniac laughing. Yep. Yeah, this is the second time, right? The only 2 times that they've won their rounds, they get us. Chunky Kong says, I feel bad for the Kings in Wild. Hey, Ryan. So, Oilers versus Vegas, who wins? Oh, man, I don't know. I was thinking about that today on a members podcast. I don't know. Vegas is a better team, but betting against Edmonton if McDavid is on his shit, it's a whole hard thing to do. Craig says Marshy is the Cats ace in the hole versus the Leafs. Yeah. Where I honestly, I like this forward group. Well, I wouldn't say I like it better than last year. I just feel like we're deeper. It's different, but it's just a calmness about this team, right? Hungry says, if I was a Kings fan, I would be petitioning Gary to change the playoff format back, right? Bulwer says, last time the Leafs made it past round 1, the Knights beat the Panthers in the Cup final, with both having the same round 2 matchups and potentially the same conference final. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's a good point. You think the Kings are going to hard sell, Bulwer? It's unbelievable, man. 4. It's almost like Buffalo losing 4 Super Bowls in a row. Just not as much, just not as good. Real says the Kings coach was asked if he'll be thinking about how he should use his depth players more. He said no. Yeah, they'll never admit. It takes a rare coach to admit anything, right? Johnny says if we win a Game 7, Marchand will have a career bragging saga with his Game 7 wins against the Leafs. Yeah. It would be Marchand's 6th time he won against the Leafs in 7. Wow. That's an insane number. Yeah, IDK, that's exactly. He says if Vegas and Edmonton can somehow both lose, that'd be great. Yeah. On the podcast, I asked myself, who would I rather play, Edmonton or Vegas? And my answer is Dallas. Both of those teams, that would be tough. Trying to beat Vegas or Edmonton while you're trying to win the second cup in a row that's a tall task. Fake News says, I like how the Cats are keeping Chucky's minutes around 10 to 12, keeps him fresh and you can use in case of emergency break glass. Yeah, I mean, Marchand really helps with that, right? That third line, it's really helping. Hey, Braves fan, Barkov and Reinhart Selke finalists. I knew Reinhart was going to get there. I mean, Barkov is like almost an automatic shoo-in most year, but guys start giving Reinhart his props too, right? Ryan says, go Avalanche Game 7. Yeah, I'd rather see Dallas win that series, only because I think Avalanche are better. Kenneth says the Kings need to trade for McDavid the way they trade for Gretzky. Yeah, good point. Yeah, exactly. Oh, boy, hungry. That's a whole other ball of wax if the Canes get to the Eastern Conference Final again. We're not going to hear the end of it. They haven't won in however many games. The stats is going to be all over the place. Almost guarantees that they would win the first game, right? Yeah, the Kings can't win on a row. It's brutal. Yeah, I agree there, Steven. The Game 7 right now against the Leafs, I mean, it's fun when you win, but, man, I enjoyed the Tampa series because it's Game 5. It's nice and relaxing. It's chill. If something happens, it's like, well, we got 2 more shots at it. But Game 7, the importance of every shift and every loose puck, and it's stressful, man. Johnny says if Vegas and Edmonton are out, Cats will have a smoother sailing. Yeah, fortunately, one of them is going to be in the Western Conference Finals. Johnny, I agree a little bit there. He's saying I'd rather face the Kings than the Caps. Honestly, I want to stay out of fighting Wilson or Ovi. The Wilson thing, that dude, he can hurt somebody for sure. Vincent says itchy scalp. I need a cat scalp scratcher. It's this time of year. The owl when it starts to warm up and the pollen's in the air. I don't itch until I put the hat on, and then it starts to itch. Now you got me thinking about it. Trevor says prediction. I put out a series preview, but I'm picking the Panthers. Obviously, by law, I have to pick the Panthers. So there's that. But yeah, no. Until we lose a series, I'm picking Florida. That's just how can I not? Real says if we lost to the Canes or Caps in the Eastern Conference Finals, I'd be annoyed but not too mad. But I really want to beat the Leafs. Yeah, I kind of feel that way. It's like whenever the run is going to end, because eventually, right? The run will end. You're not going to win, but not to Toronto, please. Just not to Toronto. Vincent said, I said by law. Yeah, that's true. I'm legally obligated to pick Florida. David says, I say Chucky punches someone in Game 1. Jonesy makes a horrific own zone in Game 2, and Cats win in 5, maybe 6 of Stolar stands on his head. That's the kicker, the key. That's the thing. Stolar's, right? it feels weird rooting against him, but I hope he has a good series and loses, right? I hope he has a good series and loses. So the Rangers landed Sullivan. Johnny says the most insane series is Blues and Jets. I hope that goes 7-2. We need a couple of game 7s this weekend. We only got the one, right? David says Stoley can play, but we'll wear him down enough to start to dominate. I'm actually happy that we're starting on the road. Same thing with Tampa. If you just split, and of course we won both in Tampa, but just split and you're in good shape. Volvar. Hungry says, I like your idea of letting the Leafs try to be overly physical and letting them dig their own graves. That's what we did to Boston. I mean, Boston they were trying to beat the crap out of us so much, but we were antagonizing them. I mean, remember, they keep retaliating to our antagonizations, if that's a word, and then they would end up being the ones in the box and not focused on hockey. David says, hopefully Tavares is Chucky's first target. Let Bennett take care of Tavares. I don't want Chucky laying any hits. I mean, I'm still a little squeamish in terms of every time he's on the ice, I'm like, just be healthy, just stay healthy, just stay healthy. Vincent says Quenneville is still on the Panthers shield logo, yet the Ducks trying to get him. I wouldn't be surprised if that's where he went. He needs to go somewhere where it won't be a ton of fanfare and media attention, right? Johnny says, I hope the Avs steal Game 7 since Dallas has had crazy miracles despite being shorthanded. Bednar has underestimated the shorthanded Stars. Yeah, I picked them. I picked them in Game 7, so that might be one I actually got right. That's right, David. Then we get Ekblad. No, he's only out the one game. He's only out the one game. So it was 2 games, right? Yeah, so we get him back for Game 2. Yeah, Craig, we didn't lose the game in Tampa, right? Yeah, I agree. They're fake news. Yeah, Marchand on Tavares for old time's sakes, right? Frank says, don't underestimate the Leafs. Worst thing to do in sports. I don't think anybody's underestimating them. I think if you're a Panther fan at this point, though, you would have to at least be shocked if we lost the whole series. They're going to win some games. They might win 2 games. They might win 3. They might only win 1 because that's how numbers work. But do I really feel like Toronto will be able to be the team to eliminate Florida? That's tough, right? That's where I get to. It's like the matchups and the bounces and all of that. But do I really feel like Toronto is the team that could finally take 4 from Florida? That's a tough one. I can't get there. But of course, Panthers, right? Cirelli is also a Selkie finalist. Real says Panthers in 6. Yeah, we have experience playing the Leafs, yeah. Bray says supposedly our game is Monday and Vegas Edmonton play on Sunday if the Jets win tonight. I was kind of figuring Monday, which is good because we both get rest, but we're getting good rest. We come back out fresh. Bolvar says, I'm ready for the triple hit from Chucky, Bennett, and Marchand. The triage has decided your season is over, right? Craig, yeah, like always, if the Leafs big guys or no-shows is massively uphill for them. Although Nyes, unless you're counting him in the big guys, but Nyes is going to get his. That's going to be that dude is he's a player. There's going to be some moments in this series, I'm sure of it. I mean, last time we beat him in 5, right? I don't know about 5 again, but that's what I said about Tampa. So 6 sounds about right. David, yeah, the Avs advancing, but the Boars like 7-0 in Game 7, right? Trevor says, I couldn't help but feel after watching Florida deconstruct Tampa and Edmonton destroy LA in 4 consecutive games that we might be in store for a rematch. Yeah. So here's a question for you all. Which would you prefer, Panther fans? Would you prefer a rematch against Vegas with us having the revenge motivation, or a rematch against Edmonton with them having the revenge motivation? Right? Which one would you guys want? Bolvar, I think he's gone anyway. IDK says, I would not want that against Vegas. Yeah. Hungry says, I would prefer Dallas. Yeah. Yep. You just can't trust the Oilers to ever be behind, right? Stars, that's what, right? Oh, Craig says the Avs to avenge the old time series. Ooh. Hadn't thought about that one. Yeah. There's some good teams out there, though. There's some good teams out there. I kind of feel like, let me think about this. I almost feel like at this point, like they would probably put Florida as underdogs against whoever came out of the West, Dallas, Colorado, Vegas, Edmonton. I think a lot of people would say that Florida couldn't pull it off like they did against Tampa. I think Washington, I don't know if there's anybody in the East that would be a favorite against any of the teams in the West that are left. Now, when I'm thinking about it. Steven says Dallas can lose Game 7 and somehow Neil will still win GM of the year. Yeah. David, yeah, they're still waiting on the schedule release, but I guess it depends on what happens tonight, if there's going to be a second Game 7 or not. I hope so. I mean, I hope Winnipeg finishes the series, but in 7. We got kind of robbed of Game 7s last night, right? I mean, freaking Ottawa ties that game, and you're thinking, oh, my God. And then they allow that goal late to Pacioretty. And that one's on Ullmark. I know Ullmark, God, I got something in my eye. Ullmark got screened on that, yes. But if you watch Dangle's recap, he explains how Ullmark, for some reason, started creeping over and looking in the other direction. And, well, that wasn't Pacioretty's. That was the Matthews shot. But Ullmark, I don't know if Ottawa is going to want to roll with him permanently as their guy. His playoff performances, handling the puck behind the net for Ullmark. I want to play Ottawa in the playoffs just because of that. He's awful. He did that in Boston, too. Bolvar says Rantanen is going to end the Avs season in overtime and bask in the booze. Can you imagine that? Oh, boy, that would be beautiful. Steven says the Ottawa power play made me appreciate ours. My word, they were terrible. Is bad. It's like decline the penalty bad. It really was. Yeah, that's right. The Game 7 is in Dallas. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, good point. Johnny says, I swear Bennington and Hellebuck switch jerseys when it's either team's home game. Big difference, for sure. Bennington is awful in Winnipeg and Hellebuck is bad in St. Louis. And you got to have consistency at net. It's tough for the teams to have. It's tough for the guys on the ice to have that kind of focus to just have the guts to make whatever play they need to make. You got to know your goalie's going to make the save. No, yeah, I know, but where they signed Omar to that deal. I know. They're stuck. They're stuck unless they wanted to. I don't even know if he's probably got a no move clause. Oh, well. Hey, Occams. Oh, yeah, the second goal by Ottawa, the one that went. Was that the one? No, was that the one that went off for the dude? No, it was the almost Michigan. Yeah, he put it off Stolar's head. Yeah, not quite a Michigan, but he put it off Stolar's head. You're right. That was a crazy goal. Penta, yeah, Reinhardt and Sasha both nominated. Yep. Yeah. Imagine if they split the award, if you had a tie, right? Hey, Jaded Rabbits. Yeah. Well, look. Monday would be. So it would probably be, that would mean Monday, Wednesday, and then with the extra day for travel, probably be Saturday. I hope they wouldn't do like a back-to-back. That would suck. Right? Because you got it. I mean, they may not do the extra day in there for the travel, but they might. So David says, how do I think Stolarz will do in this series? I think he's going to be himself. I think he'll be good. He's definitely going to cost us some goals. There's no doubt he's going to cost us some goals. And the whole trick is, is it that we know his tendencies, or does he know ours, or is it just going to be a little bit of both, and that kind of cancels itself out? Ryan says Washington in 6. I think Washington in 7, but I actually agree with you, Ryan. No, I've been saying the Canes. I got to take that back, because now that I'm thinking about it, I've been thinking the Canes. But I also picked Montreal, so it shows you what I know. Eric says John Cooper's job is safe surprise. Yeah, right? Yeah. Yeah, Stolarz and Bob, different goalies, but the numbers have both been good. You've got to have a goalie at this point. And that's my concern with Carolina is, can Anderson stay healthy for a whole series? The dude is always hurt. He's always hurt. So, and that series is going to start in Washington. We'll know early on. Kane's got a split there. Hungry says, I said it during the live stream last night. If there's a group of people that know Stolar's weaknesses, it will be our coaching staff after the $6 million man. That's a good point. It's a good point. Right? Al says that was a terrible night at games. Als, I'm not sure. So I have something I have to do this evening. If Kyle wants to stream St. Louis and Winnipeg, he'll do it. And then I probably wouldn't be there until close to the end. But I have something I have to take care of. And that was why it was good the Panthers won, because then I didn't have to read. It was something that I had to do tonight. I wouldn't have missed the Panther game, so I would have had to have not done what I got to do tonight. And it's not good when you can't do things that you got to do. So the schedule worked out. So it's going to be up to Kyle if he wants to do it. I would suppose he would, but we'll see. Eric, you think if Cooper don't win, he's gone next year? Then he's gone next year, right? I mean, Tampa's just not. I don't know that Vasilevsky. I mean, I know he had a great season. I know he's a Vezina and all of that, but playing top-tier competition every night is 3 years in a row now. He's not looked great. Not terrible, but just not the same guy that was, Tampa was put a lot of, no different than Florida with Bobrovsky, right? If Bob was suddenly human in the playoffs, probably not going to keep winning. David says, Stoli knows a lot about our tendencies, but that won't be enough. Our physicality will wear down the Leafs, and we prefer low-scoring games anyway, right? Craig says Sturm will score finally and shake the Okposo drought. Yeah. Let's get some fourth line goals, right? Yeah, Ryan. Ekblad's still suspended for the first one. Hey, Adonis. I'm okay. I'm good. Got a little bit of voice left. Hungry. That's a good point about Coop. Let me see. Adonis, yeah. I remember you said that yesterday. What the hell, John? Let's see. So when is this extension? This must be old. It says this news is this extension keeps Cooper behind the bench till 24-25, but that was in 2021. Did he sign another extension, or is his contract up now? Wait, here we go. No, now here's another one. He signed an extension through 25-26. So next year, as of right now, he's got one more year next season. So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, they'd be crazy to let Coop go. But sometimes it happens, right? Grace says, check out the Tampa Bay Lightning injury report. Give me a synopsis, Braves. What do they got going on? Is it kind of like the Panthers after Vegas? David says, I've seen Cooper interviews recently. Does he always sound like he's confused, or was it because he didn't have an answer for Florida? He's just so chill. Like sometimes he's too chill. Like great hockey coach, right? But he seems like a guy that would be frustrating to have a conversation with. Like one of those people that just like no matter what the circumstances is, he's going to make it appear as though he's completely unbothered. And that could get frustrating. Like if you're really bothered with something and you're like trying to get him to understand what you're bothered with, and he's like, hey, man, let's go surfing. Like he's so chill. Owls are saying Tampa fans are blaming Cooper, saying he made Kucherov only go for perfect passes or shots. Okay, then. Right? Yeah. What Eric's saying, the player's not playing Cooper. Right. Tampa injury report's really bad. Hungry says, how many Boston guys said it would be crazy for the Bruins to let Marchand go? Right. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit, Michael. No big, not a big shock. I think we all knew Barkov, and I think reading the tea leaves over the course of the season, I think we kind of figured Reinhart would get some votes too. Crazy that they're both finalists. I would suspect Barkov will win, though. Yeah, not Vezina, Selke. Yeah, I get it. Exactly, David. Eric says, I think time for Tampa to start a new chapter. They've got a good team. Is it would it be possible for Tampa to reload enough and wait out the Panthers? Because honestly, I kind of felt like they could have beaten any of the other teams. Florida just right now, the Panthers are just tough. But could Tampa make another run at it if Florida starts to drop off at some point, which don't seem likely anytime soon, but eventually they're going to, can only go on so many long runs, right? And David says, who would I rather have over Coop? Right. Yeah. That's a short list, and we've got them with Maurice, right? Brian says Rolling's on X saying the series begins Tuesday. That's okay. I would have thought they were going to start the Washington series a day earlier anyway, right? Because Panthers have to travel, and we'll travel between Washington and Carolina is like a bus ride practically. Hey, thank you, Adonis. Thank you, bud. Thank you, bud. He says, thanks for all the work you put into your community, and please keep it up. Make my days better when I watch when I'm trying to finish college freshman year strong, so wish you luck. Love you, brother. Right back at you, Adonis. Thank you, bud. Genuinely appreciate that, man. Yeah. Stay in school. Or learn a trade. Or do OnlyFans. One of those things. Make sure you have your money set. Don't do OnlyFans. I'm kidding. Thank you again, Adonis. Hey, Fireborn. You guys won't go away, will you? Damn it. I have no interest in playing you all in the Stanley Cup Finals again, so you're going to have to lose at some point. So Ray said Borgstrom suffered from compartment syndrome, required a house call at 2 a.m. and went to the ER for surgery. Sorelli, grade 2 MCL sprain. Glendenning, right shoulder, AC joint separation. Jeez. Damn. Playing with it, too. Eric, are you trying to say you're hearing that the Bolts will listen to phone calls for Cooch? That's a guy I wouldn't be interested in. I'm not saying that that's what you're asking. Call the Rangers. They'll do stupid shit like that. I don't know what he would pick up. How old is he now, by the way? Is he 30 yet? Craig says E2 and Anton are future Selke guys too. The whole team. It's ridiculous. Hungry says, I think the 0-15 for Cooch says a lot more than Bolts fans. Thinks 5 of those games were against the Leafs with a mad defense. Yeah, sometimes the regular season, it doesn't always translate, right? Ray fan with the injury report continuing. Yanni Gore with broken finger. Brandon Hagel concussion. Hedman broken foot. Kucherov left hand injury. Nick Paul left wrist tear. Cernak left knee contusion. Good Lord. Jeez. I like how they throw Kucherov on there as an aside. Left hand injury, right? Oh, but we saw that, right? We saw that in the last game where he went off and he was in pain, but he didn't go to the locker room. Yeah. Imagine playing hockey with a torn labrum and a busted up wrist, right? Hungry says he stopped showing up in the playoffs. Yeah. So Al says, is Reinhart really on Barkov's level of being the best defensive forward? That's a good question. We don't have isolation film in hockey, so it's a little bit hard to judge it other than what you see on TV. What I'll say is that anytime I have no less confidence in Reinhart than I would in Barkov. I think that's what I would say. My confidence in Reinhart is the same as Barkov's. Michael says Panthers are at the beginning of a 6 to 8 year stretch of dominance. If they can keep restocking things, The only question is going to be the next goalie. He's talking about 6 or 8 years. We're gonna Bob's. But I don't think Bob's going to play till 44. Kenneth says, I think Montreal gets too good and knocks Tampa out in the first round if Florida drops off. I would agree with you there, Kenneth. Yeah. That's a good call. I left them out when I spoke about that earlier. It's a good, yeah. Yeah. Montreal is going to be a pain in the ass real quick here. The question with Montreal is, can Montembeault really be that guy? I know how he played, and he was playing well in the playoffs, but is he a cup guy? That might be a bit of a stretch. And he's going into next season as his last year. So now Dobish, I know he's a rookie. I know they're kind of high on him. But if Montreal gets elite goaltending or even excellent goaltending, they're going to be a problem for somebody. Johnny, yeah, the state of Florida, the heavy Eastern Conference champs this year as well. Hey, Emperor King, so the Rangers picked up Sullivan. Yeah. Donna says, I'm scared to talk to girls here, but at least I have, or I guess, no OnlyFans. Don't be afraid. Donna, the best advice I can give you about women is never, all 5 nevers, assume what their answer is going to be about any particular question based on anything that they've said before. Never, ever. It is the most illogical, difficult thing for a man to understand that she can say a lot of things that makes you think the answer to a certain question is going to be a certain answer. And then maybe you don't ask, or maybe you do ask expecting a different answer. Never assume. That's the best advice about women I can give you, especially at your age. But just shoot your shot, as they say, because there's zero rhyme or reason to how they're going to react. They either like you or they don't. And if they like you enough, you can basically say anything and they're going to find it endearing. Oh, Brian, so you meant Monday, not Tuesday? Okay. Fire says, but you don't want to? I know you don't. I know, but do us a favor, man. Come on now. All right? Not interested. I got no interest in Stone and Eichel and Hill and all of that. I got not interested. We'll do it if we have to. Yeah, David. Tampa ran into the bear, right? Donna says, Vasti probably regrets because he's now playing 60-plus games due to how bad their backups are. Same with Hellebuck. He's played 2 years in a row with 60-plus games. You got to have a good backup. It's a really good point, Adonis. I know they've ridden Vasilevsky before, but it's a difference between being 24 and being 30. They need a decent backup. And at least the good news is, Panther fans, the Panthers do not have any goalie that they've developed at the NHL level that is going to go help some team possibly beat us next season. We're fresh out. Nobody can scalp any goalies from us this offseason that are going to be ready to be Vezina level NHL playoff goalies. Occam says, I realize how important Barkov is to this team. That's why Tampa and Edmonton tried to get rid of him. A healthy Barkov in that series would have been Cats 4 or 5 last year. Silva. Yeah, Schmidt had a good start, right? We're good to go. Yeah, I know, Brace, and with a broken foot. That's what Ekblad had at the end of the Vegas series. He had a broken foot. It was crazy because we weren't even bitching about how he was playing. Don says, I feel that Tampa underestimated us in the assumption that they were not playing our aggressive game nearing the end of the season, or near the end of the season. They weren't expecting us to flip a switch. Yep. There you go, David. That's a good attitude to have. I agree, man. Hungry says, how's Black doing in the AHL? He's doing well. But he's what I meant was, he's not on the NHL. He's not. In fact, looking at next year's roster, are there any guys other than Bennett? I guess Bennett and Ekblad are the two that we could possibly lose. Unless somebody was really going to be a pain in the ass and offer sheet Samoskevich. I'd like to get him a contract. Can you imagine if Montreal offer sheeted Samoskevich? No. Eric is saying, how many first round picks for Cooch? So how old is he? Let me see. Because you have to be careful. What's that? 31 did I see? He's 31? He's 31. He's relatively been healthy. The last 3 seasons, it's interesting because the last 3 seasons, 113, 144, 121, and yet lose in the playoffs, right? Obviously he's worth the first, but how much would you get for him? At that age, would he bring what Chucky would he bring what Chucky brought? Right? Now, Weegar and Huberdeau needed contracts, so that was a little bit of a shaky possibility there. But then you look at what just happened with Rantanen and how he got moved. A one and a top 9 player and a prospect. That's what I would think for Cooch. A 1, a top 9 player, and a prospect, a good prospect, not garbage. But he's 31. If he was, and he's probably got a no move clause anyway, I would assume. David says, you will never ever understand a woman. Just enjoy the good times and buy lots of flowers. Amen, brother. I says, the only thing I understand about women is I don't understand women. Donna says, damn, that's deep, but I'm also not searching for a girl in my life right now. Just focus on yourself. No, I understand that. It's when you're not looking, that's when they show up. Don't tell anybody that. It's when you're not looking. That's when they show up. For the most part, it's a little bit different now because of dating apps and all of that. Trevor, appreciate that. It's true, man. Just shoot your shot. They're never going to be that mad at you. And if they are, they don't like you that much anyway. Wild is life. Hey, bud. You said the real issue is the Wild. We can't get out of the first round. Yeah. We was rooting for you, man. We was rooting for you. Vegas is not, there's not a bad team. You guys did good. I think you did a lot better than a lot of people thought. Kind of thought you were going to get it to game 7, but Vegas wasn't playing around. Vegas knows how to win. That's the team right there. David says, best advice as it happens when you least expect it. Yep. Hey, Eyes, how you doing, bud? Yep, Rhino and Barkov. Yep. Unless the couple, yeah. Real, yeah, talking about Spencer Knight, unless it's somehow Panthers and Barkovs, right? Fake news. Yeah, no, I'm sure Zito will find somebody, right? I'm sure Zito will find somebody. I have confidence. It's going to be another guy. I know Vladar is out there. Somebody gave a good name the other day, yesterday. Who said that? What was it? I'll know it when I hear it, but somebody made a suggestion. Jiggy, thoughts on Seth Jones overall? Good. Happy with him, right? Certainly has been needed because of the whole Ekblad situation. But, I mean, he's like any other good defenseman. He's going to have his issues and make his mistakes because he's on the ice for so long. But I've been very happy, and he's gotten better as he's gone along. Him and Forsling have really started. It's a solid pair right now. And they're going to put Ekblad back with Forsling every time. I get it. But if we have to let Ekblad walk now because we got Jones, we're good. Donna says I have Barkov over Draisaitl. In my opinion, it is value defense a lot with two-way forwards, and Barkov is far superior than Leon in that regard. Also, Barkov is an underrated puck controller and passer. I agree there. All right, Ogden, what about Marchand turning Luosterainen into a 20-goal scorer next year? Hey, it could happen. Luosterainen, is it my imagination, or did he have 17 goals at some point? Or is that my imagination? I'm old. I forget things. No, he did. A couple of years ago, he had 17 goals. The President's Trophy season. The year that Lundell had 18 goals. No, that wasn't the President's Trophy season. That was the Vegas season. That was the first run to the Cup season. Yeah, he had 17 goals. And last year he had 12. This year he had 9. He's just not been able to put the puck in the back of the net as often. They've been so focused on defense. But yeah, 20 goals for Luosterainen is realistic, Hawkins. With Marchand out there, I believe that's exactly what happened. Him and Lundell would end up with 20 goals. No, we don't want Cooch, True. I wasn't talking about getting him. He was just asking what I thought Cooch would bring. That's all, in terms of return. David says, my best life advice, concentrate on self-improvement and be kind. Remember, don't sweat the small stuff, and 99% of it is just that. Yeah, most of the small stuff eventually goes away anyway, right? You forget. Yeah, Steve Dangle is eating good today, right? Jake, yeah, Kucherov, yeah. There you go, True. Danny says Ekblad for Kucherov. No thanks. Jake, no, we agree, man. No interest there. Simon, I think you meant to ask how we're going to do against Toronto. I'm picking the Panthers in 6. I got the Panthers in 6, Simon. Craig says common interest is huge when picking a partner, or at least acceptance of the other person's interests. That's for sure. Hey, Simon, it's hot. It got hot. It's like 83, 84 degrees today, which I know for all you in Florida is not hot, but for here it's hot. So I went down to the river yesterday after pack and ship. I went down there for about 20 minutes. No fish. It's still early, but they might be out there today. We got 84 today, 85 tomorrow. I would suspect by the end of the weekend, the water will be warm enough where they'll be jumping. And then I'm going to quit the hockey channel and go fishing. Hey, Brutality, how you feeling, man? David says, if I can find a woman into fishing, hockey, and cooking, marry her, right? Or even one of those 3, right? If you find a woman that will cook for you and doesn't mind that you go fishing and watch the hockey game and serves you dinner during the hockey game, you can work with that. Well, Donna is going to want to watch the hockey game with me, so we'll just order out because Kyle ain't cooking. Kyle is definitely not cooking. Fake news, you think Muvek next to Miko? If we re-sign him, I wonder if that'll happen, but probably not. Maurice loves him too much. I don't know what's going to happen there. Hey, Chase, how you doing, bud? Oh, man, I don't get your hopes up too high, Chase. Huh? I've seen some signs of the saying that with the Leafs are saying it's our year. Just leave yourself some room there for reality check there a little bit. This Panther team is better than we were last year, in my opinion, right now. Whether or not we have the energy to continue to be better, I don't know. Ryan says Marchand is leaving South Florida July 1st. I mean, maybe, and maybe not. We'll see. I wouldn't bet money on that. Yeah, Jiggy. I'd love it too, Hungry, if we could re-sign Marchand, but we got to keep Bennett too. If Bennett goes, Marchand might be like, well, why should I even stay? Yeah, Adonis says the Game 5 won us the Trocheck trade. Yep. Exactly. Ryan, Leafs in 6, huh? You want to put some money on that? Come on, Ryan. Adonis. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's a pretty good day. Dietrich says, what a series it's going to be. We're getting really cocky overall, a bit beyond confident. Not me. Well, yeah, I don't want to see what Twitter's saying. I don't want to see what Twitter's saying. I picked this to repeat in the beginning of the year. I can't come off of that. There's going to be some moments in this series. I mean, I'm going to be cursing at Stolars in this series at some point. If I have to do some voodoo, I mean, he's going to piss us off. It's not okay. Damn, with the Blue Angels again. Brutality good. This is a good series. Hoping Avalanche can win on the road and finish the job. Yeah, I mean, you guys were hot last night. Otter's going to have to steal one. Dietrich says she lets me do me and cooks. That's perfect. Now I said, would Kyle have better luck with women? Seeing what I've gone through in my life, Kyle has zero interest in women. No interest whatsoever in terms of a relationship, right? David, I'm 56 and cook like 3 really good things. The rest of his time is junk food like burgers. Hey, burgers are good things, man. Burgers are good things. Alway says, you think even though it was dirty, the Ekblad hit on Hagel sent a message to the rest of the league to not go after our top guys? If so, credit Ekblad. Ding, 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 ding. Yes. Yes. I absolutely feel that way. Like, we got Jones. Ekblad can go out there and take one for the team and let teams know that, stop going after Barkov. You want to take a run at Bennett, Kachuk. They've earned that. But Barkov don't do anything. Stop taking runs at Barkov. We'll do bad things. Jake crying, Ryan. Oh, boy. True says, I'm putting 500 on Florida, less than 7. Just send me to 500. True, what the hell, man? All right, everybody, I got to roll. Voice is going. I got things I got to tend to here. Appreciate all of the support, all the super chats. We always have a great time. Now, I will not be live this weekend at noon because I'm going to take a couple of days from that, unless suddenly we play on Sunday, then I'll do something. But if the schedule remains, we're not playing until Monday. We're still doing the games. I'm still going to have some other content out. But I'm going to give my voice a little bit of a rest from the noon streams over the course of the weekend, unless something pops off that we need to talk about. So everybody go enjoy your Friday, man. It's good weather all over the place. Unless you're somewhere where there's bad weather, then go enjoy it anyway. All right, everybody. If you see a post, create the stream, that means Kyle's going to do the game tonight. I would assume he's going to because I'm going to tell him to. So there's that. All right. Appreciate all the support. We'll see you later.